So in the past 6 months, roughly, I've launched over 100 different Skool communities. Okay. And these are for my fitness coaching clients or just coaches in general. And I keep encountering this one specific problem. I've been battling with this problem for the past couple of months. Pretty much what the problem is that people don't take it seriously. Okay. People join the community. They're, oh my God, this is so, but they just don't take it seriously. And what that results in is higher churn. People are leaving the community or not paying, or people are just not taking the next step and booking a call. Okay. And what that can be narrowed down to is yes, people are not taking it seriously, but how do we get these people who are going into the community to take this more seriously? Okay. Statistic, what I found out, what's kind of making me figure this out is I came across this statistic where pretty much less than 1% of people, the actual number is like 0.5 or 0.6% in a course, in a paid course, will actually go through all of the modules. And that's paid. So when you apply that to a free Skool community, for example, it's very low. Okay, it's extremely low. So how do we take this more seriously? I'm pretty much going to run you through my SOP, my process on how to take this more seriously, on how to get people to be invested so that you can sell them and make more money from your community. Okay, so pretty much right now with the state of Skool, there's thousands of people who are running ads. There's thousands of people sending cold DMs, posting, pushing people to Skool in the exact same space that you're in. Okay, in fitness especially, we have so many people who are pushing people to Skool. Okay, we have Hormozy, for example, who's like, just him, he's spending probably five figures a day just on those Skool ads. Okay, but no one is taking the next step to book a call. And it's just like, okay, what can we do to solve this? Okay, and what the solution that most coaches are trying to take to solve this, the band-aid they're trying to put on this, is they're just saying, oh, I just need to do more volume. I gotta just push more leads. I just gotta, keep pushing people into my community. And what they're pretty much doing is they're pouring water into a bucket with holes. Well, I'm gonna keep pouring more water in, but there's holes. The water's leaking. It's counterintuitive. It's pointless. Okay. So the solution isn't to try and cram more people into a broken system. The solution is to reverse engineer people to have a good experience, even if they're not going to watch the entire school. Okay. Have a good experience, positively correlate this thing that they got from you, this community, with you, the creator. Okay. Not specifically watch everything, but have that good correlation with you. Okay. So how do we reverse engineer this? Okay. So there's a few different things. The reason why nobody goes through the entire process pretty much on Skool is for two reasons. Okay. Number one is dopamine spikes and crashes. Okay. And number two is commoditized knowledge. Okay. I'm going to go through these topics below. I'm going to show you how to kind of fix these two issues. Okay. So pretty much the main things are, number one, leveraging unique insights. So how do we escape this commoditized information? I see people who are on Skool and it's like, okay, honestly, you don't even have to make a Skool community at this point. Like they're posting, oh, here's how to put your macros into MyFitnessPal. Okay. Not like people know how to do that. Oh, just here's how to do a dumbbell overhead press. It's like, okay, this is like very commoditized, same shit, different distributor sort of thing. Okay. So how do we gain authority and how do we gain reciprocity so that people want to take the next steps? Okay. How do we develop new mechanisms? Okay. So that these people, are, like people want new things. People want innovation. People are attracted to the new shiny object. So how do we utilize that to pretty much make this positively correlated with us? Number three, how do we package this? Okay. David Ogilvy said this as well. 80 cents of your marketing dollar is the headline. So you can apply that to packaging on a fucking iPhone, for example. The packaging is what matters. Okay, a candy bar, the packaging. People are seeing the packaging before they purchase it. Okay, and number four is dopamine spikes. Okay, this is pretty much we're going to tackle why no one finishes Skool and how to use it to your advantage. Okay, so we're going to break down each of these elements to show why they're critical and how to implement them effectively. Okay, so overall the framework is very much so based on leveraging unique insights and unconventional insights. Okay. So I talk about this quite a lot within my YouTube in general, but your Skool has to be based around something unique. Okay. This is the first thing. I see too many people posting stuff on their Skool that's just like, hey, here's information about how to lose weight. That's the same shit that I've heard 1,000 times. Okay. You can't do that. It has to be unique. It has to be a new method. Okay. I'm going to talk about him later, but Nate Belmar, if you want to look him up, Anime Shreds, he's the #1 course creator on Skool. Okay. He has the #1 community. The reason why he's so successful is because his mechanisms are so unique. He's talking about potions. He's talking about, different ways of, he's like, don't go to the gym. Don't do this. He's saying, don't track calories. Like so many things that are unconventional and unique. People find this attractive. Okay. So it's very much so based, what I'm going to be talking about today is based on #1, having a unique foundation. Okay. Side note, there's a founder, and he is a founder of, or not a founder, he works for Sequoia Capital. If you don't know what Sequoia Capital is like $1 billion investment company, and they invest in different startups. And what he does in this company is he manages and selects the companies that Sequoia is going to invest in. And the biggest thing, he said there's a couple factors that pretty much influence his decision, but he said the biggest thing for me to predict if a company is going to be successful is #1, do they have a unique insight or unique method into solving a problem that other competitors don't know is true? Okay? That you know to be true, but other competitors or prospects don't know to be true. Okay? He said that is one of the most important things in his investment decision. So same thing applied to this. How can we reverse engineer that? Okay? So pretty much from these collection of insights or insight, plural, non-plural, etc., how can we reverse engineer this to gain authority, reciprocity, build this new mechanism, and then pour in packaging with dopamine, etc.? Okay? So #1, we're going to talk about unique insights. Okay? So almost every Skool weight loss community is, like I said, same commoditized information. Okay? Like honestly, if I saw an ad or if I saw a guy talk about weight loss, I'm like, cool, I'm going to join his program. He got some results. And I joined the program or the Skool, and he's talking about, MyFitnessPal, or here's how to do that. Like no one cares. I'm sorry. You're not going to stand out. This is not going to make you $200,000 a month. Okay? Just all the same. You're falling into a commodity trap. Okay? Like I said, with Nate Belmar, Anime Shreds, he became one of the most successful fitness community on Skool because it's built on unique insights. Okay? He talks about really weird, nuanced shit that is so crazy. Okay? It's so unique to fitness. Okay? He's actually taking stuff from like the Asian world and like health sequences and health stuff, protocols from the Asian, Chinese world, Chinese market, traditional things, bringing them to America and the West. Okay? Really interesting stuff. Okay? So in this like hyper competitive market, you cannot follow the crowd offering the same conventional knowledge as everyone else and expect to get good results. It's, you're praying for things that are not going to happen. Okay? People are scared to go against the crowd, but being unique is the only thing that differentiates you. You have to be unique. You have to give different things. Okay? Gathering unique insights and leveraging them to differentiate yourself is exactly what Nate Belmar did with Skool and Anime Shreds. Okay? By going out and gathering unconventional truths / unheard secrets that the market has never seen is one of the primary reasons why he's making $155K a month solely on a low ticket Skool community. Because new is always wanted in the market. Okay? New will never go out of style. Okay? And you may say, "Oh, Ashton, this is difficult. How do I get these unique insights? How do I, find out these unconventional truths?" Okay, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but these are things that you're going to have to solve regardless if you're wanting to be in a hyper competitive space. If you want to open up like an in-person gym and just like provide a commoditized service, like, hey, come to the gym and pay $100 a month, that's not that competitive. You're competing in a local market. It's a lot easier. But this is online fitness coaching. There's a lot of people in this space. This is a very crowded market. You're not going to you're not going to pull this off just by saying the same shit. Okay? So people always want new insights. They want innovation and improvement upon existing ideas. They do not want to hear the same commoditized basics that everyone else is regurgitating. Okay? What is constant and familiar becomes devalued. while what is rare or unconventional becomes intriguing. Supply and demand, same thing. Okay? Nate didn't invent any secrets. He simply gathered them, brought them to the marketplace, and he was able to build his brand off these unique insights. Like I said, specifically with how he kind of cross-pollinated insights from the Asian market and like traditional things that were done in China and Japan and bringing them over to the Western market. Okay? He didn't figure these out himself. He didn't invent any of them, maybe some of them, but he just cross-pollinated. Okay? So he brought these ideas and new ideas into his audience and allowed him to gain, number one, authority. Okay? By leveraging unique insights, you're able to gain a level of status and authority by simply sharing them with your audience. Okay? So a lot of the courses and mentors that I've specifically worked with have told me things that I really didn't know to be true at the time, and it allowed me to have a paradigm shift, massive paradigm shift. Okay? So when I was first, I guess, starting out in the coaching space, I was very heavy on like cold outreach. Okay, a lot of cold calling, a lot of cold DMs, a lot of stuff like that. Okay, and one of my mentors was like, "Hey, Ashton, that's great, but you could do the same amount of volume plus 1,000 times with ads." Okay, and he made me had a massive paradigm shift, and that made me so attracted to buying his service. Okay, so gave him a lot of authority with me because he took me from point A to point B, held my hand through that paradigm shift, and I associated that with him. Okay? So you're able to gain this authority by doing this. Okay? Nate Belmar didn't create or invent any new insights. He gathered them. So giving people fresh insight builds trust, shows that you're ahead of the market and not just another guy telling you to do some cardio and eat chicken and rice. Okay? Like it kind of irks me because so many people, I hate to say it, so many people, it's the same stuff. And like, even from a customer experience standpoint, even if people do pay, it's going to be like disappointment. It's going to be a very high churn rate, high attrition. And that usually with course creators like this, who provide not the best services, that are very commoditized, it just ends up maybe 1-2 years down the road, they just kind of fall off the face of the earth. I see so many course sellers that this happens with. They're super popular. Like, think about this. How many have you heard of that are super popular for a year or 2 years and then bye-bye? You never see them again. Customer success. Okay? So you have to leverage unique insights to become an authority, number one. Okay? And then number two is reciprocity. Okay? So people are more likely to say yes to people they owe. Very simple stuff. Okay? I give you $5 and then I ask for $10, you're going to say yes to that, to giving me the $10, even though, I gave you $5. Okay. Giving your audience value without asking for anything in return allows them to lower their sales guard and be more inclined to take the next step. Okay. So reciprocity is just pretty much like when you give someone something, they feel obliged to give something back. Okay. Alex Hormozi says, the longer you can delay the ask, the bigger ask you can make. Okay. Same specific thing. If you can get people to feel this dopamine and associate it with you and have authority with and view you as an authority figure, then reciprocity becomes inevitable at that point. Okay. By continuously providing huge amounts of value for free, you're able to build trust and goodwill, which will ultimately lead to bigger and more impactful returns when you can finally call them to take action. It's literally delaying gratification. So same thing. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and, work out for a long time to see a great physique 2 years in the future. Same thing with your audience. You got to delay that gratification to maximize long-term results. Okay. So reciprocity is, yes, very important, but you can't get reciprocity if you don't have people who watch your stuff and gain value from that stuff. Okay. So if no one's watching your shit and no one's taking it seriously, you're not going to get any of this or this. So like I said up here, it starts with uniqueness. It starts with new mechanisms that people find intriguing and have that, okay, I've never heard this shit before moment. Let me dive into this. Okay. Cool. Okay. So number two is new mechanisms for existing problems. Okay. So people want new ways to fix their old problems. Okay. Your new unique insights should shape the unique mechanism that you use to solve said problems in a more innovative or improved way. Okay? Very straightforward. So you pretty much take this unique. So the way that I kind of do it, I can pull this up. Um, Even for this is my kind of YouTube process that I use with my clients. But even for like YouTube, for example, if I'm telling my client, hey, like, okay, when you're going and making a YouTube video, you have to center that video around something unique. Same thing with content. Okay. And what we're doing is we're taking the unique insights that we've gotten and pretty much pouring them into, we're taking them, we're funneling them all in one place. And we're saying, okay, what mechanisms can we create out of these unique insights to then provide a solution to a problem? Okay. So same thing like here, pretty much that I use with my clients for content is the exact same thing here. Okay. So the reason why Apple is such a huge success is because Steve Jobs was focused on innovating and improving on existing solutions. Okay. And how they got to a $3.5 trillion market cap, which is larger than several countries. Okay, I think it's larger than Canada. I could be wrong. Okay, new is always wanted. Everyone wants a faster, easier, less painful way to solve their daily problems. Remember, people are always moving away from pain and going to pleasure. It's just human condition. If you can give that to them, you can easily achieve their trust. Okay, so let me pull up a sheet here. So what I do with my specific clients is when we actually come in and we track our insights that we're getting, so unique insights, and we're mapping these out, what we're now doing is we're pretty much creating a mechanism that's around this unique insight, okay? And then using that to reverse engineer a solution, okay? So for example, let's say people are undisciplined and they're not really willing, that are working with you, and they're not really willing to go through, the process of losing weight. Okay. What mechanism can you create out of that unique insight? Okay. That you have to gain to, provide a solution to this problem. Okay. So it's kind of reverse engineering the process through the unique insights to create a mechanism, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's for that. Number 3 is packaging and a unique lens. Okay. So the insights you discover will shape your unique mechanism, but the packaging is an outwards expression of that internal mechanism. Okay. It's a lot of people don't say it's important, but it's highly, highly important. Okay. People need to be able to identify your unique internal mechanism clearly through your packaging. Showing innovation, improvement, etc. on existing solutions within the market will allow you to differentiate yourself among them. Okay. So with Nate, a lot of this for packaging, a lot of this is done like top of funnel. So for example, if you're talking about these unique insights before they join your community in your content and stuff like that, which is the first place people are going to see you, the top of funnel, that's where your packaging can really come in. Okay. Also for your community, it has to be framed as something, like Nate does a decent job with this. Okay. By framing it as something unique, packaging it as something different. Okay. Not just, hey, yeah, I'm going to help you do this. Okay. In the same way, you have to clearly create your packaging to demonstrate your unique mechanism. It should be centered around these unique mechanisms, should be centered around difference. Okay. This is not, imagine if he came on here and said, how to lose weight 101. It's like, okay, dude, you're another one of these guys. Okay. Very different. Got the Chinese symbol. Like it's just different. Okay. Yeah. This whole video is just saying, okay, you gotta be different. Like if you take one thing away from this video, just be different. Okay. So that's number 3. Okay. Number 4 is dopamine spikes from high value education. So pretty much dopamine spikes occur naturally during the learning process, as dopamine is the brain's reward hormone. Okay. Each time we teach our audience something new and valuable, it triggers a dopamine release, reinforcing a positive connection to the learning experience. Okay. So pretty much what happens when someone's going through content is they get a lot of dopamine from specific moments. Okay. But what happens is there's like peaks and troughs. There's peaks and crashes. Okay. If you ever look at dopamine spikes, there's a crash that occurs after the spike, even out of the hormones. This crash is often what leads people to stop watching, click off, and forget about the community forever. Okay. So let me come back up. Okay. So in terms of dopamine, in terms of hacking into this to get people to stay and watch content is number one, yeah, delivering on value. But number two, what's highly, highly important is you have to realize that people get a lot of dopamine from simply just the joining process. Okay. So if someone joins your Skool community, that's when their dopamine is going to be the highest. When I buy a Lamborghini, my dopamine is never going to be higher than when I purchase that Lamborghini and have it for the first 2 days. Those first 2 days that I get the car, it's going to be crazy. You're going to feel like $1 million. And then 2 weeks later, you're probably not going to feel as good as when you first got it. Okay. So same thing happens with this. Okay. You're going to get a lot of dopamine initially when people, join that community. Number two for dopamine is when people have their paradigms shifted. Okay. So throughout your educational content, when people are being shifted around these unique mechanisms, people are going to associate dopamine with that. If I change someone's belief systems and say, hey, listen, you believe X, I'm going to tell you why you should believe Y, and then they actually believe Y after you explain that to them, their dopamine is through the roof now. So the more of those you can implement within your educational content, the more people are going to associate that dopamine with you, gain authority from that. Okay, cool. So this is why we don't need to push our audience through the entire course or community. Even if we provide hundreds of dopamine spikes, the inevitable crash that follows can lead to higher churn of audience. So you have to, yes, peaks and crashes, yes, are important, but it's inevitable. There's nothing you could really do about it. Okay. Instead, guide them through the emotional process of building trust and help them rationalize their feelings with logical aspects of your unique mechanism. If you're able to do this quick enough to catch them near the peak of their dopamine spike rather than the crash, you'll create a much more consistent and predictable process for engagement and conversion. Okay. But all in all, everything is centered around uniqueness. Okay. So like I said before, you may be like, okay, Ashton, I've understood now that I need to start pushing things that are unique, having unconventional insights so that I can create authority, reciprocity, create a mechanism, package, and then, create content that actually provides dopamine and gets people to find that interesting. Okay. But how do I collect this? How do I get these unique insights? Because I right now, I don't really know. Okay. So to gather unique insights for your specific market, you need to obtain data on what works and what doesn't. Okay. You do this by owning data. Okay. So this is a longer term process. Number one, you're not just going to have a night and day switch of oh, now I know everything about what these unique insights are and how to figure it out. You probably have more in your brain than you would think. Okay. And I would start with that. Start to write down the unique things that you know to be true, but other people don't. Number one. Okay. And you need to obtain more data. So the rate at which you can obtain data from your clients, from other people, from yourself, etc., pull that together and start to collect insights regarding that. The larger of a scale you can do that, the more of these you'll have and the better chance you'll have at seeing success with your community. Okay. So you have to try to own this data of other people following specific mechanisms that you're doing or other people working with you or even yourself. Okay. So I'm going to open up another doc here. So when it actually comes to extracting knowledge and having these unique insights, there's a few different stages to this. Okay. And I want you to think about this for a second. People who have, let's say, for example, when someone has a really strong opinion on something, that means they have judgment on it. Okay. They understand it. And usually when they understand it, that means that they have applied it and analyzed it. Okay. And before that, they have knowledge that they applied. Okay. So when someone has a strong opinion and they know something to be true, usually in that case, it's when someone has tested something, okay, and then gotten feedback from that testing. Okay. But all of this starts with knowledge, opinion. Oh, I'm going to try this. Okay. So to walk you through this, number one, you have to have knowledge. Okay. So knowledge about roughly some concept, some insight. Okay. You're going to comprehend that. You're going to understand, okay, I now know that I understand this. It's not just knowledge that, 2 + 2 is 4. I understand that if I take 2 and I take 2, it's actually 4. comprehend it. Okay. Number 3 is applying this comprehension, running an experiment, being a scientist, seeing if it works, seeing if it doesn't. Okay. Then analyzing this and then synthesizing this and then having judgment on this. Okay, now I can actually have judgment and I can say that this works definitively because I have tested this. Okay. And if you can get yourself to do this, or clients to do this, and this is not always a conscious process, of course, but the more times that you can run this and the more times that you can get clients to run this and have judgment from clients and judgment from yourself and judgment from, let's say, 1,000 people, holy shit, pool at 1,000 people, they're all their data together. Now you have a lot of unique insights that you can now rationalize and create new mechanisms around. Okay. So the only way to do this is by going through these levels, because there's so many people online who have a lot of judgment, but they haven't actually ran any experiments themselves and actually gotten data from that. Okay. So your unique insight shouldn't be based off of some shallow concept. It should be based off of like actually going through and running an experiment, not yourself all the time, but other people or data. This is why Facebook, they own 2 billion people's data. Meta owns like 2 billion, I think it's like 2 or 3 billion people, their data, because Facebook values their data so that they can sell it to advertisers. Okay. So the same thing for you. You have to start collecting data like your life depends on it so that you can now gather more unique insights. Okay. And pretty much like what I do with my clients, I showed you all of this stuff. What I do is like with each of my clients, for example, if they're having conversations or on sales calls, like these are, you're going to be having to track all of these things, all of these. Okay, what am I, what are their concerns of the prospects I've talked to? What's the price they're willing to pay? What are the roadblocks? Okay. Even just this doesn't even have to be applied to friends or stuff. Like, let's say you're having a sales conversation, like there's always opportunity to collect data and then create some sort of mechanism around that. Okay. So this is something that I've been pretty much doing with Unique Insights, starting this as the base and then building mechanisms around that. But if you can manage to have this at a really high, large rate, okay, where you're collecting lots of insights, running this comprehension, collecting knowledge, comprehending, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and then having a level of judgment where you see the truth objectively on a large scale, then you can create actually good communities. Okay. Because like you can't just come in and put say the same thing. Okay. So all in all, yeah. So when you're creating a Skool community, do not fall into the commoditization trap. Don't fall into okay, I'm just going to make a community. I have a little bit of followers. I'm just going to make a community and I'm going to think that this is going to make me $1 million saying the same shit. It's not. Okay. Instead of trying to push people through hours of conventional education, you need to reverse engineer your audience to have a positive experience while not needing to go through an entire course. Okay. I don't think it's really possible to get someone to go through an entire course. Maybe if they pay you like $10,000 for a really high ticket thing and they're really emotionally invested. Okay. But 9 times out of 10, it's really not specifically needed. Okay. What is needed, like I said, is building these mechanisms around these insights and then pushing them. And then kind of, I hate to say it, the rest takes care of itself. Okay. If you can really manage to get this in, the rest just kind of takes care of itself. You don't really have to worry about all these other stuff. Okay. Just to give you a side note, with some of the mentors I was working with, like I was saying about cold calling, cold DMing, all that sort of stuff, like just me reflecting on how I was able to be sold by those guys, it's actually crazy. Like they just came in and told me things that I didn't know to be true. They explained it logically why it should be true. I resonated with that. I understood that. I had judgment on it. I ran the experiment myself. I got success with it. Like, holy shit. So much authority and reciprocity is now given to them. Okay. So much dopamine is associated with them, and the rest takes care of itself. Okay. So you have to create a unique lens, packaging, all that sort of fun stuff, but make sure that the top focus is providing new, unique, conventional insights and truths that the market hasn't commoditized to your audience. It's a big ask. It is a big ask. Like, I'm telling you to find unique ways to solving a problem. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, it's a big ask from me to say, because I'm sure there's lots of people online. Oh, you just need to run an ad. What? Oh, just put up a piece of content and like post once a day. What? Right? Because there's people online who say that. Okay, and this is a big ask. Finding unique, unconventional insights. It's a hard thing to do. Okay, but if that's a hard thing to do for you, it's a hard thing to do for thousands of other competitors. Okay, and if you can do this and solve this, then you could win. Okay, and this is actually what I kind of do with my clients. So what I kind of do, and why I get a lot of questions, is because with my clients who run stuff like this, Skool, all these fitness coaches running schools and using this to get clients, is I have to have my finger on all my clients because I need to collect their data. I need to, because if I have 100 people running a Skool community and I get 100 people's data, then if I get another client the next day, I can just say, hey, dude, we've done this 100 times. Here's the data. Here's what's working. Here's what niche mechanisms, etc. Just go do it. Bye-bye. You're going to get success. It's already worked with 100 other people. Or it hasn't worked with 100 other people. Let's try a new thing. Right? So you can take two sides to it. Okay? So that's pretty much that. So like I said, so after implementing this exact protocol, Nate Belmar used to hit 100K per month. We personally saw many of our clients like Adam. He hit 63K in under 3 months. Or even Paul. Paul's actually quite interesting. He takes like a holistic style approach. He has a very targeted niche. He only works with like middle-aged kind of women, but he focuses very much on holistic style health and fitness mechanisms. Makes roughly 100K a month, sells 4 to 6K packages. Like, this was literally a screenshot that I took like 30 minutes ago on my phone because he just sent it to me. He's like, just sold a 4K package. I'm like, cool, good job. But he focuses very much on this holistic style, unique, hey, like, you don't have to do all this bullshit that you starve your, like all of these concepts that I don't even fully 100% grasp myself because I'm not the fitness expert. I'm just the director behind the scenes per se. But yeah, so that's specifically that. Okay. So yeah, so like this was 9:30 and I'm filming this. I think it's 12:30. Okay. So 3 hours ago, I took the screenshot. Okay, cool. So if you've gotten this far and the concepts have made sense to you, don't speculate further. Thousands of hours of speculation will never achieve anything, but 1,000 hours of action will. So like I said with you, same thing here. Take this knowledge that I've given you and apply this knowledge, because I can guarantee you this unique insight of, okay, the unique insight of needing unique insights is never going to turn into actual result and judgment if you don't apply this yourself. So same thing layered on top. I know it's complex. Okay. So don't research, take action. I can guarantee you that if you don't take any action on this, you won't get, or if you learn something today, but if you don't take action, you won't achieve any specific growth. Okay. So I hope this all makes sense to you. I hope you got value from this video. I am going to link this document below for you guys to read through it. So please, if you like, it's going to be just a public document. So please go read through this document. Let me know if you guys got value from this. If you want to go through and like read through some of the stuff below and like take time and like, I actually understand it, just go read the document. But I hope you enjoyed this video and give me a sub. Cheers.